Okay, what's up, everybody? Fantasy Savvy with your boy Steve DeAngelo. We got our guy Joe Carlton in here as
That
well. We are doing a live NFFC high stakes Rotowire online championship. Joe and I decided to do this today. It's Father's Day. I just got home, went to the beach, then we went to a restaurant, and then the kids wanted ice cream. So I got home freaking late. Just threw this on now, but we are in the fourth round, as you can see, and we got our boy Joe here. Happy Father's Day, man. How did it go today? And welcome to the show, man. I'm glad to be with you tonight, and we're going to do a lot of these throughout the year. But happy Father's Day, man. What's going on?
Happy Father's Day, Steve, and that's great timing. I'm on the clock, so I'm going to pay attention to my pick.
Yeah, there
I
you
think
go,
I know.
man.
I think I know who I'm taking. I really wanted Devonta Smith, but he went earlier, so I'm going to go Cortland Sutton here
Nice, nice.
because I started my draft. I started my draft with two running backs. I went Genty and Taylor. So now
Oof, like that.
yeah.
Like
So
that.
now
Like that.
So now I don't necessarily need like those 35 bomb type of wide receiver. I don't have to chase
Right.
upside. I can just go
Right.
for
Solid.
some solid consistency at wide
Yep.
receiver. And that's what I did. I got JSN. I followed up with JSN and Cortland Sutton. What's up, Jamie?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Jamie's
you
in
could,
the chat.
oh, our boy Jamie. Yeah. Very, very solid listener. Jamie has his own fantasy show as well. What's up, Jamie? Happy Father's Day to you if you celebrate. Yeah, man. I agree. I mean, you have two solid running backs there, and Cortland Sutton, very, very solid pick. I mean, people are talking about Pat Bryant and Ingram and Sutton getting 30 years old. It'll be his last year. He's still an underrated receiver that's going to still produce. Last year, what, double-digit touchdowns again, I think, or maybe 8-9, but 1,000 yards. We'll see if Bo Nix gets even better this year, but as a passer. But yeah, I like it, man. Solid pick. But we are in the fourth round. So I start Gibbs Irving, similar to Joe, who started Genty Taylor. So we both start with two running backs here in the NFC Rotowire Online Championship. Entry is 350. League, if you win the league, you win 1,500. Grand prize is $250,000. But the hard part about this league is, if you guys never played in this before, you got to finish basically top two to win money in your league and to advance to the championship round. So third round, I go Josh Allen, and then I get George Kittle. So I have no receivers yet, but I feel like Kittle is kind of like the last tight end to take, and then there's a little bit of a drop off. And I feel like Kittle with no more Debo, with Ayuk on the mend, with CMC possibly taking a little while. Maybe they kind of take their foot off the gas a little bit. I feel like Kittle's going to have to be a little bit more important. Maybe a career year for Kittle. Joe starts Genty Taylor. Just JSN, who, man, I went back and watched all of Jigba's targets from last year. I got a newfound respect for that guy, man. He is just a baller. And then Cortland Sutton, who is solid as well, man. I love your start, Joe.
Thanks, man.
Really love it. I really like
I
it.
decided to mix it. Yeah, to mix it. I'm in a slow draft right now, and I started with Genty. And I didn't, I waited on running back. I had the chance to take Chase Brown in the third round, and I passed on it. So I also had the chance to take James Cook in the fourth, and I passed on it.
Yeah,
could have so this, that. Yeah, this time I'm just going to knock out the running backs early, and
yeah, I mean,
and so I had to make my pick there. Sorry about that. I'm going JMO there. I could run into a bye week problem, but I'm trying not to pay attention to that right now.
I think you're killing it right now, bro. Personally, I love your squad, bro. I love it. I really like this squad you're building right here.
So far, so good.
I think you're off to a fire start, man. I really do. I really think you're on a Father's Day heater right now, bro.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, Father's Day. So let me get into my Father's Day.
Go ahead, man. What happened?
I woke up this morning and went to work. I worked until about 1 o'clock. I came home.
What do you do? What do you do for work, man? Let the people know. I don't even know what you do.
I work for a beverage company called Polar Beverages,
Heard of them. Yeah, the seltzer. Yeah.
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 So I do manage the accounts, go out and stock the shelves. Um,
Awesome.
I worked today because it was it was going to be a busy day, so I had to put some time in.
Yeah.
And then I got home and I made my mom's recipe, the Italian gravy, the sauce, whatever sauce, however you want to call it,
Yeah.
for the
Call it
for the fa-
sauce. Well, you
for the
call it gravy
family.
too. It's all good. Yeah.
Yeah, made that for the family, and
Wow.
then we went out for ice cream, just like you did. I got
Yeah.
a Biscoff stackable, so that's like a cookie butter with vanilla. So they layer like cookie butter on the bottom, then they put some vanilla soft serve, then they crush up some Biscoff cookies all in it, and then they put like a whole Biscoff cookie on top. Then they add more. It's delicious.
It sounds good.
I still have half of it in the freezer for after this draft.
Oh, perfect. Well, you are killing it in all aspects, bro. Bro, you are just on fire today, bro. In all aspects. Go ahead.
Nice. All right. So I want to point out Omari and Hampton went at the back end of round two. I don't
Okay.
know what that's
Yeah.
the
Dude,
earliest I've ever seen him go.
I'm telling you, like, it's the rookie love fest. Again, I think he's a talented rookie, but you got Najee there. And I think, people are discounting Najee and the fact that the guy has never missed a game in his career. And he's had 1,000 yards every year, despite playing with Mason Rudolph and, the ghost of Ben Roethlisberger, maybe in his rookie year. I don't even remember if Roethlisberger was still around. Last year, Russ Wilson with Artie Smith and Matt Canada. Like, now he's in a really good situation where the team that wants to run the football with the best quarterback he's ever had. So Hampton could usurp him at some point. But again, I bring up the point that, remember, Derrick Henry was playing alongside Deion Lewis at one point. So it's like sometimes these rookie, or like even, Henry at that point, I think was like in his third year and was still splitting carries with Deion Lewis. So like it takes time for some of these guys sometime to really get the full role. So second round, man, that's just way too expensive.
I worry about the goal line. I feel like Najee
That
is
too.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not,
Yeah.
Hampton, not take anything away from Hampton, but, he could be a down the stretch monster, like you said,
He
second half of
could.
the season.
He could. Yeah, he could. But I still think that's a little too much of a pretty penny there, don't you think?
Well, yeah. I don't even like taking him in the fifth where he usually goes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little bold there. But bold strategy, Cotton, as they say. All right. So the names that we recognize in here, again, people don't like to list the names off, but Sand is in here. Miles is in here. Remember, he was he was mad at me for ripping his freaking Marvin Mims pick and when I was on your show. Tim Eichton, I know he's done a million of these drafts. Any other names here you recognize here? Schoenwolf, I know he's done a bunch of these.
So Ranigan, Team 12 is a champ. I should have said the name, but Team 12. I was going to just say Team 12. Team 12 is a champion. He's actually local. He's from Massachusetts. So I don't know him personally, but
he's won the OC?
I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe in like 2019 or at some point 2017. I forget what year.
Yeah.
So we got 1, 2, yeah, and Shepard's pretty good. Shepard is an old school NFFC guy. This is a stout room. There's no bad drafter in here. I don't even know. I can't even say Team 1's a bad drafter. I just don't know if this is his first draft on this platform and he doesn't know where Hampton's going or whatnot. I can't. I have no explanation for why he would take Hampton there. But
yeah,
Yeah,
this is like NFC is similar to the best ball world of underdog, where you're going to get a lot of sharp drafters. Guys that are very seasoned, guys that have done a lot of these drafts, guys that know where guys are falling, and I keep saying that best ball is, best ball dynasty and, regular redraft for your family home leagues or your friends home leagues, but high stake leagues, I feel like as we get a little further on in the, maybe in like the next 5 years, I feel like this is going to blow up insane even more. And people, it's going to really be on the map where I feel like one day this could be on like ESPN. You're like, we could be, like they're going to be covering this one day. You're like, can't you see that in the future, Joe, or no?
It depends. I mean, it would have to get big.
Yeah, I'm saying maybe not 5 years, maybe 10 years, maybe. But I feel like just like you're a big poker guy. I feel like at one point this could be like another thing that they cover. I mean, ESPN's covering everything now. Like last night, I was watching. They had a Tetris championship on last night. So like, why wouldn't they do high stakes fantasy football at some point?
So what are we gonna? So basically, just live broadcast live drafts or something. Like, is that how that would work?
I feel like what will happen is there'll be like rankings at some point where like high stake fantasy football players will be ranked. And they'll probably live stream drafts, and that's similar to this, and that's kind of how they'll do it. I mean, I could see that happening in the future. But even if it doesn't happen on the ESPN level, maybe that's way down the line. I could still see it being like even NFC kind of like taking the next step and doing like a rankings and make it more like like more of like a professional league type thing. But I feel like that's the way it's going to go as it gets more popular.
You know what I do like about what NFFC, and I kind of wish I got in it last year. They have that where everybody, you pick one team from each contest, and it combines the points, and then they do like a final table draft the following year. Did you see that? I forget the actual name of it, but it was $250 to enter. If you had to basically pick a team before the season started that you wanted to represent from each contest, and the total, I guess the top 12 in total points have a league now this year, Champions League. Jay Wim has just made a comment. Yeah, the Champions League. That's awesome. I think maybe they could do some contests like that, and then like the following year, like broadcast live the draft, if that's the direction. If we were to ever blow up and be on ESPN, I think that they would be targeting like something like that. Like that would be kind of cool, because that they would be getting the top 12 best performers from the year before all in one draft. So it'd be pretty entertaining.
I gotta look into that Champions League. I think I heard them doing that in the baseball. I didn't know they did it with the football too. So, I don't know. I don't. That's something new to me. I got to look into that. Will says he still disagrees with me there about Mims, but happy draft day again. Appreciate that, Will. Shout out to you, man. Philip Guy says people so crazy. I don't know what he's talking about there. And then Jamie says Sutton is a guy I draft a lot. Yeah, I think he's a solid pick. Underrated receiver. Again, Sutton started his career, good rookie season. Then he tore his ACL. Then it took him a few years to kind of get back in order and, playing with some bad situations. And last year with Knicks, Knicks really emerged as a rookie.
Speaking of Knicks, I'm about to pick him.
Sweet. So Knicks, again, like great rookie season for him. But we've seen, a lot of like Stroud last year took a step back in his sophomore year. So Nick certainly could take a step back as far as a passer, but he does have that rushing, which kind of offsets that. So I feel like for the most part, he's a pretty safe pick at quarterback. What do you think?
He also added talent. CJ Stroud didn't necessarily add talent.
Well, they did. They added Diggs.
Well, I mean,
but then Tank Dell got hurt. Diggs got hurt, and it killed him. And they're all,
they added depth, and they got a great. And Denver's got, Sean Payton runs a pretty decent offense compared to what Houston was doing last year.
Right. That system in the second year, after everybody loved him in the first year. Who was the coordinator there with Houston?
Plus the offensive line in Houston is terrible. I mean, they should have never let Singletary walk, because Singletary saved Stroud he was the reason why Stroud had to break out. I think the pass protection, the blitz pickup, the extra set of eyes, the communication. I mean, he was huge for Josh Allen's development. So they should have hung on. I think they should have stuck with him. I thought he fit, their mold well until they improved the offensive line. But the offensive line has to show that they can take a step forward, I think, in order for Stroud to get back to where he was.
Yeah, Bobby Slowick, his second year. The first year, everybody was like ready to crown his ass, and then second year, it fell apart. The offensive line wasn't blocking as well. Then Diggs got hurt. Then Tank Dell got hurt, and it all just kind of didn't work. But Stroud wasn't really a runner, whereas Nix is, he gives you that rushing, so it pays off. So I'm gonna go with the stack here and Shakir as my third receiver.
I like Shakir. He's a good pick this year, I think. They gave him the contract, so that signifies Josh Allen trusts the guy. And he was number 2 in yards after catch last year, just behind Jamar Chase. And, if there is a wide receiver 1 in Buffalo, I'd say it's him.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think it's kind of going to be spread around, and it's going to be hard to bet on anybody. But yeah, if anybody emerges, it's going to be the Shakir. I would say number 1, and then maybe Coleman or Kincaid can kind of take that number 1 role. But you never know. Like, we haven't seen Josh Allen's best passing season yet either. Everybody's talking about his rushing numbers are going to eventually drop off. He's not going to get 12 rushing touchdowns, 11 rushing touchdowns. But maybe when that happens, he starts throwing more touchdowns. Maybe we start seeing him throwing 40 touchdowns, and I certainly think he's capable of that. So,
like to see Keon Coleman take a step forward this year. Man, how do you feel about him?
Yeah, I mean, Keon is he's kind of like a guy that I'm lukewarm on. Like, you think he's a good 50-50 ball guy.
Right.
He's athletic for sure, good after the catch, but he's not a big time separator. His route running needs work. But yeah, I mean, it seems like he's working on that in his second year. And I feel like with Allen, he could definitely have a season where he goes off for 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. I feel like that's in the realm of possibilities.
Kind of reminds me a little bit of like a poor man's Alshon Jeffrey, right?
Or a poor man's like DeAndre Hopkins, something like that, like not a big time separator, but big body. And he could be a double-digit touchdown guy. But again, I think Allen likes to spread it around, and then they got Josh Palmer now. They got Elijah Moore now. So same thing to last year. Like Matt Collins was their leading receiver, as far as touchdowns. Like, so like who the hell expected Matt Collins to lead the team in touchdowns last year? Everybody was drafting Allen with Kincaid. Everybody was drafting Allen with Shakir or even Coleman. So, if you want to, just draft Allen and go naked, as they say, that's fine too. I don't see the problem with that. Maybe James Cook you could take with him.
Yeah, naked Allen seems to be the play this year.
Yeah.
I mean, last year, like in years past, kind of like Lamar too. Like, I don't know if you can stack Lamar, maybe with Mark Andrews, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, you could do Zay, you could do Andrews, you could do even Bateman. Like, I feel like Bateman's a good guy.
Bateman later on.
Yeah. All right, I'm up again. Yeah, round 8, 20 rounds here. Again, 350 entry. And how many entries can you have in this? Is it 150?
I don't even know.
I think it's 150. I don't know if anybody gets to that point. I mean, there's some people that have like
30.
Maybe. Yeah, no, I think even more than that. Even
I think there's 1 or 2 guys in this draft that have 27 or 30 teams
already.
Yeah, no, yeah, well,
purchased. You mean in this draft, they average 27.
They're already purchased. They're all to be determined dates. Yeah,
gotcha. Yeah. So yeah, it's not like because it's a 350 entry. It's not like a Best Ball Mania where it's $20 and guys are going to max it out for the
Right.
150.
No, 350 is a lot of money. I mean,
Yeah,
for
exactly. So I mean, even Chad is not going to do 150 of these. So
I don't even think he bothers with these anymore. He just plays the high stake ones.
yeah, he does the
Yeah.
prime times and the
He does
12
about
team.
he does like 20 or 30 of those though.
Right. No, yeah,
Yeah.
no. Nelson will do, I think, like maybe 40 of these or 50 of these, something like that. All right, let me see what we got here. I'm running down the clock here. I'm talking too much, bro. Talking too much. I'll take Brian Robinson. Good offense, a lot of touchdowns to be had. And, Brian Robinson, a little bit banged up last year. Just Eckler there, really. And I think he's solid. So, third running back. Why not? So, I got Allen, Gibbs, Bucky, Judy, Olave, Shakir, Kittle, Brian Robinson so far. Joe starts with Genty, Taylor, JSN, Sutton, Jameson, Addison, another solid pick, and then Bo Nix as his quarterback. Still needs a tight end. Are you going to go tight end here, or are you going to look for something else?
I think I'm gonna because the bastards to my right will probably snipe me if I don't. So
Who's on the
he's he,
board?
I
We got
think
Andrew. We got Andrews is a great pick here, bro. I mean, you could probably maybe wait another round to get him, but I mean, you got Ingram that's still there too. You got Kraft, Lawrence. There's a couple guys that I like.
there's a bunch of guys there that I like. I took Andrews in my slow draft that I'm in now. So this time I'm just gonna stick with the Denver stack, I think.
You with Ingram? Yeah.
Yeah.
Solid.
And take Ingram.
And you have Sutton now and Ingram. So you're going to have probably, most likely, unless Pat Bryant turns into like Randy Moss, the number one receiver in that offense. And there goes Camp Scatabo. I like that pick there. So, the draft strategies have changed in this year. I mean, we used to notice most of these guys used to take 3, 4 receivers, 5 receivers sometimes to start. Now we're seeing running backs going earlier. Now we're seeing more balanced teams. Now we're seeing tight ends, quarterbacks. Really, just Carlson goes Neighbors, McConkey, and Rashee Rice, which I like. I think he's off to a good start. Daniels, George Pickens. Sean Wolf goes Jefferson, Brown, Kyron. Then he gets Terry and Tet McMillan. Then he gets Connor and Swift to go with Kelsey. Any starts that you really like from any of these teams so far?
I like the Ayuk pick that just went off. I had him queued up next. Let's see how Willie's done. Willie go Derrick Henry, Nico Collins, Garrett Wilson, DJ Moore, Alvin Kamara, Jacoby Myers, Mahomes, Ayuk. That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody here's got a solid team.
Yeah, I agree.
I like Mike Sanders, got the Burrow Chase stack with
getting Burrow in the 4th round. Yeah, solid.
He got, he made the most of getting Chase at number 2. I think Calvin Ridley's a solid pick in the 5th round. Stephon Diggs too. He's targeting all wide receiver ones. He's going for volume wide receivers. Right. Mixon and Jacobs, 2 old reliables.
Right, old reliables for sure. Old reliables until they're not. But Jacobs, I think, is going to be. He's 28, so he's. And again, these running backs just seem to keep going, man. More so than ever now. I mean, again, I bring up the Latavius Murray all the time, but like Latavius Murray was like 33 years old, still being productive, still scoring touchdowns, still being picked up in fantasy. So like Joe Mixon, yeah, he's 28, 29 years old with a lot of mileage. Although he started his career, again, like sharing carries, and I love Mixon coming out. That goes back to the Maureen Hampton point. He shared carries too. And I think that kind of preserved his career a little bit. But, Nick Chubb's in town, but 6th round in a good offense, a guy that's been, productive year in and year out. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I'm not the biggest Diggs guy. I kind of given up on Diggs, but 7th round. If he's back by week 4, week 5, and he produces the rest of the year, it could be definitely solid. And then TJ Hawkinson, now a year removed or 2 years removed from an ACL, very solid as well. All right, what are you doing here, Joe?
Went Najee there because I'm planning on to only use him as a fallback RB in case one of my elite ones go down.
Good
And
pick.
as a bye week filler, I know he's going to get me, minimum 8 points. Hopefully, he's healthy and he's in there. All he has to do is get a couple of catches and like 10 carries, and if he finds the end zone, great. I wanted Travis Etienne. Billy's sniping me. He's been sniping me like crazy. I gotta stop picking two points away from him, man. I mean, 2 picks away from him in 2 different drafts. He's killing me.
Yeah, no, I hate. I mean, hey, man, there's sharp guys in here. All
Yeah.
right, I'm looking for the best pick on the board. I don't know what that is, and I'm talking too much, and I'm not studying the board. Let me see here.
The best pick on the board right now. Let me see.
My boy Shaheed. My boy, or Ramondre, or nah.
I think late round 3 Devontae Adams is real nice. Mike got Adams to fall all the way down there. He usually doesn't make it that far in round 3. That's a good pick.
Adams went where, you said?
Devontae Adams at the 311.
Oh yeah, that is pretty late. That is solid. I like that too. All right, so I go with the 12 personnel. I take Mark Andrews again. I mean, I like Mark Andrews. 2 tight ends. I could start 2 tight ends if I want. One of my flex.
I like the call because you waited on wide receiver, so I like the 2 tight end call.
And I'm trying to take the best player on the board at this point. I was considering Shaheed, but maybe I can get him on the way back. I do need another running back, although I have 3. So yeah, no, I'm okay, I think. But we'll see. I was just looking for the best player on the board, and I thought that Andrews was one of those guys. Jay Wimmer says they cut all his fullbacks. You know what he's talking about there, Joe?
The San Fran fullbacks.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's tough to run the San Fran.
Were we talking about San Fran at all?
Yeah, like 10 minutes ago.
Oh,
10, 15 minutes. I think so, maybe.
I don't remember.
Pete
says, look at this crew. Slowick. Right. Good point there, Jay. That is right. I've heard that point being brought up before too. That it kind of made him alter his offense a little bit, and it's tough to run the San Francisco offense with that one. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I heard that actually. So we'll see. I mean, sometimes things get people want certain directions, and you got to adjust without with what you really want, and it certainly didn't work out. But I also think the offensive line wasn't blocking as well for Stroud, and maybe Stroud needs a little bit more protection to be effective. Again, he's not really the best scrambler, he's not really the best runner, and sometimes these pocket quarterbacks just need time to throw. So we'll see how he plays this year in his 3rd year. They shipped off some guys, but they brought some new guys in, and I like the receiver that they brought in with Kirk and Higgins. And they're not going to get Tank Dell back this year, but we'll see if CJ Stroud could bounce back. There goes Keon Coleman to Sanda. I like it in the 9th round. Jaden Higgins. Just talking about him. I like his talent as a rookie.
I think he ends up being the number 2 wide receiver there.
I think so too.
And he could be towards the end of the year monster. Team 1, I kind of like the way Team 1 has built this team. He kind of, he's got a mix of rookies and like consistent guys, and he's kind of set himself up with guys that could be having monster second halves, including Hampton. That Hampton I mean, he could have obviously waited and gotten them later, but maybe he pushes them up there because he wants to hammer 5 wide receivers in round 5 through 9. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
this could be. You have to do something weird from the one spot for that shit to be working. I did it the year that I had my top 5 finish. I pushed Adam Thielen way up in round 2. And it's because he probably doesn't make it to the 3-4 turn, and I wanted to make it so that it's not so chalky. You know what I mean? You can't be like the one spot always seems to be chalk, like all the way through.
Yeah,
unless
right.
you do something different. So
Mm-hmm.
now that we're 10 rounds in, and I see the way that he drafted, I like it. Not
Yo, when did you finish top 5? What contest was that?
this one in 2018, I finished 4th.
Wow.
And I lost Todd Gurley in the last week. So who knows? I don't know if I would have caught first place. First place had him.
And how many teams are left in the championship round? Like what, 300?
I think there was 5 something.
500. So finished,
Yeah.
and then the total contest is what, like 3,000?
I think at that year it was only like
Or 1,800, right? Something like that.
That year it is like 4,000 now. But that year I think it was
so
only
off,
like
man.
1,800 or 1,900 or something like that.
I'm retarded, man. Like, because I play in NFC, and FFWC is smaller than FFPC is like 20 times as big. I always get the total number confused. But anyway, my main point was to finish 4th overall in this contest is freaking
Yeah.
really impressive, brother. Really impressive, man. Because I played in this contest for probably 4 years now, and last year was my highest finish. I think I was like, I don't know, like 90 something out of 4,000 teams. But I was like, I was in the top 10 at one point, or top 15. But then you could be there at a certain time, but then like a couple plays later, or like the 4 o'clock games start, and all of a sudden you're in the 80s again. So things change fast.
Yeah, no, the team one guy, if he did that, I don't know if he did it on purpose or not, but if he did that on purpose, he's thinking outside the box. I like it because it, like I said, maybe he wanted to hammer those wide receivers in those rounds, and he knew that he didn't want to waste a pick on Hampton there, and he wanted to get different. He's got the right mix there. Like I did the same thing. Like I picked like a solid core, and then I picked guys that I thought were gonna be good down the stretch, and they were. Like I had Calvin Ridley that year, and he was a beast down his rookie year. Had him as a flex, and then I had Derrick Henry.
That was like his career season, right? Calvin Ridley, 2018.
The 3 weeks in the playoffs, he was an animal.
Oh yeah, that was the year I think he went for 1,300 yards, right? That was
I'm on the clock. I'm on the clock. I gotta see what I need here. The guy in my queue got picked.
We're having too much fun here, bro.
Shepard sniped me. Because he wouldn't let me complete my mega stack.
Well, he sniped Miles with the Marvin Mims pick.
I'm gonna what should I take here? Look. I think I'm gonna go with another floor running back for my bench. I don't think I need upside on my running back bench based on the way I built my team. I gotta be all in on my build. I can't fall in the middle somewhere and then not know what to do during the season.
Mm-hmm.
Be all in on my build. Lean on my 2 elite running backs. Draft just a couple of floor. I like the floor running backs. Now I'm going to add some depth. We know. I don't want to talk my thoughts here because I might get sniped. I'll wait till it's my turn.
Brommel says, been hearing the James wide receiver rookie for San Francisco is turning head as Pearsall's injury is nagging him. Yeah, but you got Jacob Cohen there too, who I think is pretty solid. So I don't know about this James kid, but I think Cohen maybe have a leg up. And Pete says Rashad White. Pete, I think likes him some Rashad White. Did he go yet?
I picked him. I like him.
Oh,
I
you
like
took
him
him. Okay,
too.
there you go.
He's got back-to-back seasons with 50 catches. He's got a high red zone snap percentage, goal line. He's used all around there. But I have concerns about Bucky Irvin's lasting an entire season. Not gonna lie. I mean, I suppose
Well,
you can say that.
he was wearing down last year, but he kept getting out. The good thing was is Bucky kept showing up, so you like that at least. But yeah, he was banged up down the stretch last year for sure. And he certainly looked a lot better than Rashad White did. But if Bucky kind of wears down in his second year, and Rashad gets that big role again in Tampa to get him in the 10th round in a great offensive, highly productive offense. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think it's a good pick compared to these other receivers. I mean, these other running backs that are going. I think it's very, very solid.
All right, I'm gonna take a shot on one of my sleepers for upside at wide receiver here and go Cedric Tillman.
Nice. Yeah, I think I'm going to take a sleeper receiver too. A guy that I really freaking like a lot. I feel like this kid, if I can get him, I think he'll last. I mean, I'm really starting to really fall in love with this guy. But the only problem I see is it might be a little crowded in there, um, depending on some of the other weapons. But you can't really, I don't know. Like you just got to just take the talented guys sometimes and just hope it works out and not get too crazy about the target distribution because there will be opportunities at some point, and you never know when things turn. So, normally I'd probably go a little bit more conservative here, but I'm gonna start grabbing this guy more and more, and I'm gonna grab him here if he's still available. There's a couple of running backs that I like as well, but I'm good at. There's some good tight ends on the board too, still, man.
Yep, there is.
I mean,
That's why I was good actually looking at Warren, and then the guy picked Warren before me, and I was like, oh, good thing. Now I don't have to think. I can just pick a wide receiver Cedric Tillman. But yeah, there is a couple of good ones up there still.
All right, I'm taking Jack Beck. I think this kid, man. I mean, I feel like he's gonna have a long, successful career in the NFL. I really like this kid a lot, and I know it's crowded again. You got Genty, you got Bowers, and you got Jacoby Myers. So it might not be the best as far as opportunity, but I'm just gonna bet on talent. Maybe he could emerge a little bit as a big time weapon and give me some really good weeks. And if there's an injury or two, I really like this kid, man. Like I love his game. I really do. I'm really excited about his career. So give me Jack Beck, man.
Nice. So we're halfway through the draft. We're into round 11. I'm gonna roll through my team real quick.
Go ahead.
I started Ashton Genty, Jonathan Taylor, two premium running backs. Then I followed up with 4 wide receivers: JSN, Cortland Sutton, Jamison Williams, Jordan Addison. Decided to grab Bo Nix there. I've seen drafts where he's gone later, but the quarterbacks seem to have come off here, so I fit in, and I wasn't having a pick for another 15 picks, so I grabbed Nix there, and then I completed the Denver stack with Engram at tight end. And then I grabbed myself a couple of nice backup running backs, Najee and Rashad White. And then I grabbed Cedric Tillman, my upside. I had to stash a little bit of upside on the bench with the wide receiver build that I went with.
Yeah, I like
So
Tillman.
all in all, I like it. I can't say I'm disappointed with this team. This team is looking pretty good.
Yeah, I like it too, man. Solid, balanced. You got a lot of good depth. And yeah, I really don't see a bad pick that you made, man. I feel like every pick you made has been pretty damn solid so far. And again, like Najee in the 9th round versus Hampton in the 2nd round, when it could be a 50-50 split, and Najee could be more productive than Hampton this year. I mean, everybody, I know everybody's like, oh, Najee sucks. And again, he's never missed a game, 1,000 yards and a whole bunch of shit offenses versus a guy that, definitely looks good, talented, but it's his first year in the NFL. So, 7-round difference, man. I think that's Najee's the way better value to me right now.
Nice. And team 1 grabs Justin Fields.
I like it. I was, even though I had Allen, I was thinking about taking Fields just to steal him, but yeah, that's a good pick there, man. That's a great pick by him.
Well done. I'm impressed by the team 1. I'm not saying it's going to win, but I'm impressed with the way they drafted after pushing Hampton up a million rounds. But hey,
yeah,
could be justifiable when once hindsight kicks in. We'll see.
Yeah, no, I think he's got a pretty good team. I think that Fields pick really helps his team a lot. He's got a rushing quarterback.
He's got it stacked with Hall too. It's
stacked with Hall, who's been consistent and very, very productive in fantasy every single year, pretty much. In Justin Fields, I mean, again, this guy ran for 1,000 yards. I mean, how many quarterbacks have run for 1,000 yards in the NFL? What, 3? Vic, Lamar, and Fields. That's it, right? So, I mean, nobody ever really talks about that. I mean, this guy is run for 1,000 yards in the NFL. So is he going to do that again with the Jets? Probably not, but he could get 700 and he could get 8-9 touchdowns rushing and throw for another 20. So, I mean, yeah, great pick, man, in the 12th round. I feel like Fields is a really good value. The only thing you worry about, I guess, is you say, well, Fields is not a good NFL quarterback and he's going to struggle. And then Tyrod Taylor is going to come in at some point. But I mean, I don't see it happening. I guess that's the one risk. And then, but even if you do that, you still take Fields and just take another quarterback later or pick one up later in the year. I mean, you could still make it work. And I got Nick Chubb, and I'll take that here in the 12th round. I had him in my queue though, so it's fine. Yeah, I was talking. I didn't even realize I was getting picked there, but I was going to take a run. I was going to take a running back there anyway. And I'll take Nick Chubb, man, in the 12th round. I like it. Again, what do you think about Nick Chubb, man? I mean, the injury, 2nd year in a row. I mean, 2nd time to his knee in the same knee.
I will say this: I really like his landing spot. Where I think Houston's a great spot for him. Joe Mixon is no spring chicken either.
Yeah.
And there's really nobody else. I mean, Damian Pierce, can't get on the field, and plus, I as shifty as and a good runner as he is, he just doesn't like it. Like the offensive line is bad, so having him in at running back just only makes it the pass protection worse. So I think that Chubb has definitely got a leg up on everybody there. So, I love him as a handcuff.
Yeah, as my 4th running back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like, something happens to Mixon, and maybe Chubb is not done yet. Maybe Chubb's got some juice left in his career. Again, if I didn't go Chubb there, I probably would have went Brashard Smith, who just got taken by Carlton, or maybe another rookie running back that's probably going to get taken probably in the next 5 picks. Or I could have went one of the tight ends because I feel like there's still some good tight ends, but I have 2 really solid ones, so I don't know if I need a 3rd tight end, but I feel like I just want to snatch the best talent on the board up. All right, you're up, Joe.
I know. I wanted Brashard Smith. I just got sniped.
Well, you got that other rookie out there, which is a good pick.
I know that, but I don't think I want to go. I don't think I want it.
Hey, do you, man?
I'm gonna grab my 2nd tight end because Evan Ingram can miss time. We know he's injury prone. and I'm huge on this guy. He's got a great draft price.
Yeah,
And I
great
think
pick.
based on the fact that there's no wide receiver one there, I
Great
like
pick.
Tucker. I like Tucker
Great pick.
Kraft.
Such a great pick, man. So I do this all the time too, man. 12th round Tucker Kraft is like criminal. I feel like it's this guy is so underrated, man. He's such a good player. And yeah, it's a little clogged up there in Green Bay, and they got Golden now. But I feel like there's a world where Kraft could be the number one guy, and there goes Kincaid too. That's another good pick there in the 12th round too. But yeah, man, I love the pick there, bro. I feel like you took the best player on the board there.
Yeah, probably. As far as upside goes.
Yeah, I mean, compared to what's out there. I mean, I like Freiermuth too. Now with Rodgers, I feel like he should have a nice season.
I'm waiting for them to sign Keenan Allen, and then
True.
Freiermuth gets nuked.
True.
I'm so worried. Like I have shares of them in best ball, and I'm like, I can just see it happening. Or Amari Cooper, or whoever, one of the guys that are still out there and end
But
up in Pittsburgh.
yeah, but I don't know if he'd get nuked. I mean, yeah, it would probably hurt him a little bit for sure. But I mean, think about Freiermuth. He's played with a bunch of garbage quarterbacks too. And it's not like Rodgers is like, coming to like throw 30, 40 touchdowns anymore. But I think it's Freiermuth's looking up regardless, even if they draft Allen. But yeah, I see what you're saying. And another good tight end goes off the board, Isaiah Likely. There goes Kyle Williams, good pick as well there. Caleb Williams, real late, 13th round.
I know. I was gonna pick him. But
Is that kind of where he's been? Pat Bryant, good pick. Is that
no. He's been going like
earlier, right?
yeah, like nine
Yeah.
through 12 range, or 9 through 11 range.
Yeah.
I was gonna pick him, but it's all good.
And Miles got DJ Moore, so that makes sense there to get the stack. Caleb's top weapon there.
Right. Let me see what I got on my team.
Pat Bryant, I like this kid. I mean, again, you got Sutton in the way, you got Ingram, but I feel like Pat Bryant, man, I think he's a little bit different. I think this kid's different. I think it was a really good pick by Denver. I think he's going to shine a little bit in his rookie year. I like that pick in the 13th round.
I'm gonna go Wan'Dale Robinson.
I think the last draft you took Wan'Dale too.
I like him where he's going. I mean, he's got Russell. He's a quarterback upgrade. He gets the targets.
Yeah.
Is he going to drop you a 29? Probably not. But at this point in the draft, if I need to play him, at least I have somebody that's I can get targets. I think he gets 7-8 targets a game.
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of just that steady slot guy that's going to give you what you hope is maybe just average like 10 fantasy points a game, and you'll take that.
Not so sexy picks by me at the wide receiver position tonight, but that's because I started with 2 running backs, so I didn't want to make it so that my wide receivers were boom or bust. I mean, I got a couple of boom guys in there. I got Jamison Williams. Took Cedric Tillman. We know that he can give some boom weeks.
Yeah.
But the rest of JSN, Sutton, and I kind of went for more consistent guys. Yeah.
No, I think your first 4 receivers are freaking really solid, man. That's a really solid crew. Then Tillman again, he was on fire, and then I think he slowed down a little bit, and then he got hurt.
He got the concussion. Was it a concussion? Yeah. Right? Yeah.
I think it was a concussion. Yeah, then they kept him out the rest of the year.
Well, yeah, they had no reason to play him.
Right. There's no reason they were there in the dumps. Am I back on the clock? Jeez. I'm looking at the clock, then I'm not on the clock, then all of a sudden I'm back on the clock, then I'm looking at your team.
This is when all those 30-second best balls come in handy, because 60 seconds feels like forever after that.
I was gonna take yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was gonna take freaking Kendre Miller, But I have freaking Rashid Shaheed and Olave, so I don't want 3 Saints, man.
I
Especially
like
with
that.
Tyler Shuck throwing the ball. So I take Jarquez Hunter.
I like that pick.
Yeah, and I was talking about him earlier when after Bashard Smith went, I was thinking maybe you would take Hunter. So I get one old veteran. Marshawn Lloyd's another good pick too. That's a good pick at running back. We just don't know how all this is going to work out. You know, I mean, you're just kind of betting on talent at this point. You don't know if Lloyd's going to get an opportunity. We don't know if Hunter's going to get an opportunity. You know, we don't know if Kendrick Miller is going to get an opportunity. I mean, I guess we have to bank on Kendrick Miller getting more of an opportunity than ever, especially with Dennis Allen out of the way. And you know, new offensive system there with Kellen Moore. So, but we'll see how it all works out. All right, Sanda's up.
We're approaching round 14.
That's a good pick in the 13th round too at tight end, Dallas Goedert. DJ Giddens, not bad. Were you thinking about taking Giddens with Taylor?
Yeah, probably would have.
Yeah.
Yeah. This guy, I didn't expect him to go there. This guy in the one spot, looks like he's targeting rookies. Like he's got some rookies all around.
Yeah, he's got Higgins, Abuka, Loveland, and now Giddens. So and then Hampton. So he's got 5 rookies. I have 2 rookies. And Joe, you got 1. You have 1 rookie.
That's it.
Your first pick. The best rookie of them all.
Hopefully.
I think so. I mean, I think he's going to be a volume king and, you know, 20 carries or 15, even if he gets 20 touches a game, I think he'll be pretty productive. And I think that offense is going to be nice, man, with Bowers, Beck, who I like.
They're going to have to put on the gas pedal all the time, I think. So, you know.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, I'm in on. I've taken them in back-to-back OCs now, so obviously I'm in on them. You know,
yeah, they're gonna be in scoring position, and we know he can finish. So I like it, man. I think Genty in the first round is, especially where you got him in the 8th. I mean, the first draft we didn't he go 4th overall?
5th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I think I took Saquon 6th, right? I think it was.
I got him at 8 in another one and 9 in this one. So yeah, I can't complain.
Jay says he's looking forward to the Gladiator on Tuesday night. Yeah, Joe and I are in that as well. That's going to be live streamed by NFC.
Did they do the draft order yet? I think they did the draft order. Let me look at my email.
Did it fill? Oh, I'm up again. Look at this. 10 seconds. Look at this, bro. I keep talking, and I'm on the big clock. I'm taking Kendrick Miller.
I'm guessing you didn't set your KDS if you didn't know it didn't fill.
No, you know what? I don't really care about my KDS right now. I don't really know where I want to pick. So whatever happens, happens. Right. Usually I like to be towards the back, you know, so I get the double pick with the 3rd round reversal. But right now I don't, you know, it's so early. I don't really care.
You're picking second. You're picking second. It's a super flex. So you're looking at a quarterback probably.
Yeah. So hopefully I can land Allen. I'll be happy. The first draft I got Allen. So if this draft, maybe I'll go Lamar. We'll see. Yeah, no. So anyway, the Gladiator is great. Jay's at 5. The Gladiator is 14 rounds, and it's just like best ball. You can't make any pickups, or there's no free agencies. There's no trades or anything like that. Well, any of the NFC leagues, there are no trades. But it's different than best ball where there's no bench. So it's the 14 guys, and that's it. You know, if a guy gets hurt, you're shit out of luck. There's nobody replacing him. It's just 14 guys, and you just have to draft your lineup, which is a quarterback, a super flex, 2 running backs, 3 receivers, 2 regular flex, or is it 3 regular flex, right? And then a kicker and a defense. So that's it, 14 rounds. And it's pretty cool, $50. This is the first year they're doing it for the football. They've done it with the baseball. So I liked it. I did the first draft last week or the week before that, and then we're gonna do another one on Tuesday night. So that's gonna be live stream on the NFC High Stakes channel on YouTube. So check that out. Joe, you know anything about this guy Krosky Merritt? I know we talked about him previously, and you were saying Eckler is going to be in the way. But I know,
this year, but I don't know.
but
I mean,
I guess it's not a bad bet because of the offense. So, like, if there's an injury there, why not just take him for the upside, right?
yeah, I feel like it's one of those picks where if you know that it ain't gonna work out, you know it's a guy that you can easily he'll be somebody you drop at some point. I think that Washington's in on Brian Robinson is the thing. I think that you know they brought in Debo. They've been looking for that wide receiver too. They brought in Debo. I think Ben Sinnott is another year in. I know Zach Ertz is still there, but I think that um, they're just going to need a guy. They're going to use like Brian Robinson, how the Patriots used to use their running backs, and just like wait till they get down inside the 5 and then use them to punch them in. That's it. I don't see them because they have Jaden Daniels running really. You know what I mean? I don't know. The coaching staff likes Brian Robinson, and
Yeah.
it's going to take an injury for him for him to be relevant, in my opinion, in year one. Year two is a whole other story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you on that.
Year two, then you got to see if they draft another running back. You know, if they don't draft another running back, so there was a ton of running backs to choose from this year, and they waited to the 7th round to pick one. So that just tells me that they're in on Brian Robinson at least for this year, and that maybe Eckler is still going to be involved as long as he's healthy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, Eckler's been a veteran, so it's going to take an injury, and I don't even know. I to be honest, like I don't know too much about this kid yet. I'll definitely look at him at some point. But yeah, I think Brian Robinson's been rock solid there, and Eckler had a pretty good year there last year too. He looked healthier, coming back from those high ankle sprains he had with Los Angeles. So yeah, probably you're right, probably the next year if anything, and they could just draft another guy and he could be nothing. So we don't know.
Yeah.
Jalen
Play it by.
McMillan, man, Drake May, good pick by Team 12. Like that in the 14th round, very solid. I think his last few picks have been really good. And then Team 11, Miles takes Jalen McMillan, who's like the forgotten man in Tampa. I mean, this kid was solid last year down the stretch after Godwin got hurt. And, everybody's, Buka, which I understand. But I feel like McMillan in the 15th round is a really good pick. And then Joe, you take Demario Douglas, who's also another forgotten man
He's
who's
being
solid.
slept on. He's being
Yeah.
slept on. He is. I think so. I like Kyle Williams, but I think that his. I think he's. I mean, I don't think he's going to do everything. You know what I mean? I feel like he's going to be used in a certain role, and Demario Douglas being in the slot is going to be kind of leaned on more than Kyle Williams is. At least like maybe for the first half of the season. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I think people are overhyping Kyle Williams, despite him still being a pretty good wide receiver. I just
Yeah, no, I agree. I
I
feel like
like Drake May is not Drake May's got to take another step forward before he can support um, 3 wide receivers. And then Hunter Henry's still in the mix, and that's who he's had the best connection with. You're on the clock, Steve.
yeah, no, I'm thinking I
That's
know.
who he's had the best connection with.
Yeah.
Through last year, so it's not like he's going to go away. So I think people are sleeping on the amount of volume that Douglas could get.
Yeah, I agree. And a Douglas, I think, is pretty solid, especially with May in his second year with a better system. Um, I feel like Douglas could kind of stay in Williams' way a little bit there. And who knows with Diggs? Like, is Diggs going to come back week 4? We don't know. Could be week 8. We don't know. So we'll see how fast he comes back. I take Pat Fryermuth there. Again, I have 3 tight ends now, which I normally do never do, especially with the talent of tight ends I have. But I just feel like he was the best player on the board. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. Just trying to steal the best player on the board. And then I got to finish up my draft with some receivers here because I got 3 spots. So, but I don't see much that I really like out here. There's a bunch of, I don't know, just weird stuff out here. There's some upside guys that I like, but not much that I really am in love with here.
What do you think about Travis Hunter in round 5?
I have a tough time with Travis Hunter right now. I may change my opinion because I feel like he's a better corner than receiver. And I feel like that maybe at some point the Jags may say, well, maybe instead of 70-30 as receiver cornerback, maybe we'll go 70-30 cornerback receiver. I feel like there's a world where that could happen, So, and also too, like, I don't think Lawrence is, I don't know how many guys can he really make relevant, I still got to see a step up from him too. So yeah, I'm not all the way there with Travis Hunter as for where he's going right now. I don't know. But the talent, I mean, he's a freak athlete. And Liam Cohen could just design things for him as far as screens and work things off of Brian Thomas that just make things work where he's just making big plays. And, maybe he's getting 1,000 yards and 7-8 touchdowns in his rookie season. So I'm probably going to later in the season, I'm going to start drafting more Hunter. But right now I'm not there yet, but that could change. Have you been taking him?
No, I have him in a dynasty team. I took him over Tet in a dynasty draft.
I like that. I like that for sure. I think he's better than Tet.
I took him at the 103. It went Genty, Hampton, and then I took Travis Hunter.
All right, I need a receiver here. I was thinking about Amari Cooper. The receivers are kind of hit. I do have Josh Allen. I could take Josh Palmer. Aya Manor is a kid I kind of like. Vele is kind of interesting. Thinking about Roman Wilson, but we talked about Keenan Allen. If Keenan Allen got signed, Roman Wilson would be nothing. But if Keenan Allen doesn't sign, then I feel like Roman Wilson might be pretty nice there. I don't really want to take Josh Palmer, though, man. It's just like I don't want any of these receivers.
Slim. It gets pretty slim down this end of the draft.
All right, I'll take Palmer. Why not? I got Allen, so I think it makes sense at this point. Let's see. That's probably my least favorite pick so far, but I need another receiver.
30. What do I got? 7? I got 7 wide receivers. I don't think I need another one.
Yeah, I got 5. So I need probably 2 more. I'm going to end my draft with 2 more receivers probably. I got 3 tight ends. I don't need another quarterback besides Allen, and I have 6 running backs.
Let's see. I got 5 more picks.
Vele is an interesting pick, man. Like, I do like Pat Bryant a lot, but I feel like Vele could be pretty solid. Adonai Mitchell, I thought he was kind of raw coming out last year. Now you got Daniel Jones probably throwing the ball, so I'm not excited about it. Even if Richardson was throwing the ball, I wouldn't be that excited. I'm just trying to think of some of these receivers. I know Tutu Atwell is supposed to get more of a role in the Rams offense this year with DeMarcus Robinson gone. That might not be a bad one. Jalen Royals, maybe at some point he could if there's an injury to Rashee Rice, maybe. Roman Wilson, I like. There's one player actually that I'm going to take if he's still there. And I think he probably will be a receiver. He's kind of far down the list.
There goes Valet.
Would you take Christian Watson at this point and just hold him on your bench? Do you think it's worth it?
I'm gonna say no to that.
Yeah, I feel you.
I'll wait until if there's some news in August that he has a chance of coming back, maybe. I mean, I'm not doing it now, though.
I mean, right now they're saying there's a chance he could be back week 1, but I don't know.
Really? I don't see that.
They're saying he's I mean, most likely I feel like for Watson, it's probably like week 4 at the earliest, and maybe the most realistic is probably like week 8.
Mike has joined the chat.
He says, my goal is to draft the oldest OC squad ever assembled. Nice, Mike. What's up, man? Glad to have you, man. I was telling Joe, we got to get you on one of these shows, man.
He won't come on, man. I tried to get him and Frank Amarante together because that would have been fireworks. I would have just sat
Why
here
they hate each other on Twitter
no,
a little bit?
No, they don't hate each other. They just
not hate each other. They disagree.
It's a great debate. It's a great debate. It's great to see. Mike loves to poke him around a little bit. As the best way I could describe it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Jay says, think you did that last draft. I don't know. Jay, what are we talking about here, man?
About Mike being old, Mike drafting the old team.
Oh, got you. Nice. Sorry, man. I'm not following a lot of this. Yeah, Mike's team is I wouldn't say it's that old. I mean, he got a couple cramps on there, but not too many. Meh. I like it, man. Taj Brooks is the guy that I don't fully understand yet either. But there's nobody really else there. I mean, Samaje Perine. So if something happens to Chase Brown, Brooks is going to be looking pretty nice by default, I think. They may sign somebody at that point too, but Brooks might be in a really good situation there.
Take a shot on JJ McCarthy there.
I don't. Quarterback. Again, I feel like without looking at McCarthy in full detail yet, I feel like by default, I feel like he'll be successful in that system.
I think so.
Penix is a good pick here too.
I was looking at that, but Penix really doesn't make sense for my team.
No. You have Addison. So right.
And it's I'm only looking for I'm doing an upside insurance play.
McCarthy could. I mean, he's coming back from ACL, but he could run a little bit at least. Back on the clock again.
3 picks left. I'm going to have to address my kicker and my defense at some point. We're in the middle of the round 17.
I got to take over. I don't want to take Dontavian Wicks. I think I've had enough of the Dontavian Wicks experiment. I was going to take Tutu Atwell, but I'm going to take Jordan Whittington. I don't know. I like Whittington. I feel like he fits that Cup Puka role. And so I feel like if something happens to Puka or Adams, Whittington steps into a really good spot. The receivers now are just, I mean, there's nothing there. There's just a bunch of, it's just pure trash. Right? Is there anybody that sticks out to you here?
I think I would have picked Thielen over Whittington, but if you're going for, but if no,
you want after me,
But if you're going for upside, like you said, Whittington has the contingent upside.
Thielen, I mean, Thielen he is 34, but he keeps getting it done. You're right.
Thielen is Thielen. I mean, Roman Wilson would have been.
I was thinking about.
There.
Yeah, no, I like Roman Wilson.
You're talking about upside Darthrove and Whittington's all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know here. Maybe I'll take Tutu Atwell too, my next pick, and just get the Rams receivers cornered. Or maybe I'll take Royals. I've been taking him a little bit. Restrepo is another guy that I feel like he might be something in Tennessee, like with playing with Cam Ward. Why can't he be like a Cole Beasley? Like
He's been taking first team reps this past week. So I picked him up. I picked him up in a dynasty after the rookie draft. He became a free agent, and I picked him up. I had space on my bench.
I like it. I don't know if I will see if I take him here, but I feel like he's one of the better options out here.
He went undrafted, so there's only 7 or 5 rounds in the rookie draft that I was in, and he went undrafted, and I bid on him as soon as the first free agent period. I got him.
Nice.
I didn't have the late round draft picks either. So
yeah, the other thing to consider too is, how many quarterbacks are gone off the board, because you kind of like to have that second security blanket quarterback in case your quarterback goes down, especially as you near the championship round. If something happens to your quarterback, you're going to be screwed. So you want to have a good backup. I mean, there's kind of a few guys out here that I could kind of just figure something out during the year. So I don't know if I necessarily want to take a quarterback here, but Tua's there, Stroud's still there, Bryce Young, Geno, Russ, Rodgers. So I feel like I could just pick one up during the year probably at this point. Although I feel like Stroud and Tua are probably going to be drafted here, right? What do you think?
Maybe Stroud. Where are we? Round 18? Yeah. You got to look around and see how many people didn't. I mean, it's still a little early to do that. Let's make sure.
I'm going to take.
We got 3, we got 4, we got 5. We got 6 teams with a defense so far.
Shit. Tutu Atwell, I can't do it. Strepo, I feel like Manor is probably a leg up over him. Coker, I'm not into. Wicks, what is he going to do for me? Especially with Golden there now. Adonai Mitchell got Daniel Jones throwing the ball. I'm going to go with the guy with the best quarterback, I feel like, and could get maybe become the second receiver on the Titans. So I'll go with Manor.
I don't think there's any position players that are worth taking at this point. And I think I might have to address.
That's the cool thing. That's the cool thing about the FFWC is you don't need to take a kicker in a defense in their drafts yet. You could just fill out all positional players
and then pick one up by week 1.
Yeah, pick one up later. Yeah, I kind of like that. But different rules, different leagues. I'm good with whatever the league decides to do. I'm good with whatever. That's why I like playing in different formats. Oh, Jordan James, the guy I was talking about earlier. Yeah, rookie at Oregon. I was thinking receiver. I don't know for some reason. But, yeah, I mean, dude, 18th round for McCaffrey's injury history. And we just saw Garendo go off. We saw any running back in that system is pretty much relevant if they get an opportunity. So I think Jordan James is a really good pick in the 18th round.
Huh.
Freaking Patrick Taylor was putting up some good fantasy points, and he was getting, people were bidding like 250, 300 for Patrick Taylor last year, maybe more. Radio Raheem, man.
Well, I got Genty, so I
Right,
mean,
makes sense. Yeah, and a good offense too. I like it. And he should be the backup. I mean, Dylan Laub, forget about it. Right? Do they still have him, Dylan Laub?
I think they do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you're good there, man. No more Madison in the way. Yeah, I think Raheem Mostert's a solid pick as some insurance here.
I was surprised he was still there when I saw him. I was like, "Damn! I guess I'm not taking a defense."
Yeah. Shit, I don't.
They go Stroud.
Yeah, let's see if Tua gets taken or Bryce Young. Bryce Young seems to go. I think Geno, man, is I could see him throwing 30 touchdowns with Bowers and Myers and Betch. I feel like Geno could have a little bit of a rebound season with the Raiders. Isaiah
Damn.
Davis, that's an interesting pick.
Brandon Aubrey went in round 14. Damn, I didn't even see that.
Wow. There you go, 50-yard field goals all day long. I got to figure out what defense I'm taking.
Me too.
I've been taking I was taking the Jets because I thought they were going to go against Mason Rudolph, and now that Aaron Rodgers is in town, so I mean, it still might not be bad, but Chiefs D, Packers D. Let's look at the week 1 matchups again.
Definitely not the fun. I think I'm gonna go with the Cowboys, D.
Cowboys are playing the Eagles week 1. But yeah, I guess you take it. You could always cut somebody and stream somebody week 1 if you wanted to hold Cowboys. But still, you could just play them and hope for the best too.
Yeah, I'll go with it.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I'm not gonna be overly neurotic about my defense. I'm trying to think who the hell I'm gonna take. I may just take the Vikings defense. They out there? Vikings defense.
No, I was gonna pick them, and
okay. I was gonna go against Caleb,
and then that's when I saw Mostert because I was like, oh shit, Mostert. So
Bengals defense. They were complete trash last year, but they're playing the Browns week 1.
You know, they finished from week 12 on. They were middle of the pack defense. They weren't on the back end. They were starting to improve.
But they did fire Anarumo, so they got a whole new coordinator there now. But yeah, I mean, they should be better. Am I up? Yeah.
Yep.
30 seconds. Cardinals D against the Saints, and I have 3 Saints. Why not? Cardinals D. Who did Chiefs play in week 1? Oh, shit. I'm going to miss it. Oh, Chargers. I'll take Cardinals D week 1 against the Saints. Give me Spencer Rattler in week 1. I'll love that all day long with the Cardinals D. Give me some points. I think they'll be a popular streamer for sure week 1. So I like the Cardinals D. Then I'll cut them in week 2, or we'll see how they play. I mean, that's his 3rd year there now, Gannon, and he's a defensive guy. Maybe he can really get those guys to play in their 3rd year, you know?
There's always a defense that's on the waiver wire. in the first couple of weeks that you
Yeah.
scoop out. Last year it was Denver.
Yeah. Denver was nice. That dude Benito was going off. Nick Benito, man, he's a stud. And now they got that corner from Texas to go along with Sertan, man. Yeah, they're going to be pretty nice. There goes Bryce Young. Okay, so still no Tua. Nobody wants Tua, man. Everybody's giving up on Tua.
Miami's a dumpster fire, possibly. You don't know what's going to happen.
Dude, I think Tua's just been holding that offense back. And McDaniels, too, I think has lost his luster, too. It might just be a whole new thing after this year. You're right.
I grabbed Ollie Gordon. I don't know. It was just a speculative dart throw. The way that they didn't use Jalen Wright last year, it makes you wonder if Jalen Wright is just a special teams guy or what what they're good they took Ollie
Madison?
Gordon for a reason. I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
I feel well they added Madison too,
Madison,
right?
yeah. No, I agree, man. I feel like that's a good pick, too. I like Jalen Wright, but yeah, I mean, he didn't really look that great. But Achane didn't, honestly, I don't even think Achane looked that great out of the backfield. The reason Achane was so good last year is because he got 5,000 targets.
Yep.
Because Tua was just dumping it off left to right to him and Jonnu. There goes Tua. Speaking of Tua, he goes off the board.
Santa got him. Yeah, so not only that, but our guy Anthony Savino, rest in peace, my brother.
Yeah,
love you. Was talking up Ollie Gordon, that last week.
Yeah, I just saw Jim just released. I guess the last pre-recording he did with Anthony, so I got to check that out. Yeah, man, that was, obviously, if you guys didn't hear, Anthony passed away. Face Off Sports Network. That's the station I've been on. We did a couple shows. We were kind of talking about everything that happened, and raised over $20,000, man. Evan Silva donating, Adam Leviton, Matthew Berry shouting him out. Just a huge amount of support from the fantasy community. And he was on his way up on Rotowire. I think he was going to be on Sirius XM. I think he was going to be a staple at some point on the radio because he had that voice, he had that radio voice.
You are on the clock, Steve. I'll continue. No, I loved Anthony, man. I've been listening. He's one of my guys that I was a faithful listener of. There's not too much content that I'll listen to. I have it very condensed to a certain few people. I don't like to have too much. There's a lot of good guys out there, but I find the circle of trust, and that's what I go with. Anthony was great. When I had my live draft last year in New York, my first live high stakes draft, I actually talked to Anthony on the phone, and he gave me a pretty good pregame pep talk on the draft, and we were talking about Garrett Wilson and Justin Jefferson because I was picking at the back end of round one, and stuff like that. It was just. And he gave me so much advice about podcasting and being confident and, trying to get comfortable with my voice and delivering my message. And we were just starting to blossom a great friendship. And then he just like that, not here no more. It's just devastating. I had a rough week that week for sure. We all did. I mean.
Yeah, that was tough, man. You're right. I mean, Anthony was just like, just get on there. No matter, don't stop overthinking things. Just do it. And I remember when I started with him, I was in between moving from Jersey to Florida, and I was in my mom's old condo, moving stuff out of the way. And I was in her old room, and I just set up a desk, a cheap folding table. I put a Yankee Stadium picture behind me. I bought a quick mic and a headset, and that was it. And I just started rolling with him. And he was cool about it. He was just he wasn't it was just very easy going, and just, you always felt comfortable And that's why I kept with him, and I was loyal with him. And yeah, Joe, man, you were always last year. You were with us, listening all the time, and then Joe hit me up and hit us all up, and he wanted to do some high stakes stuff together, and here we are, man. And I just wish Anthony loved high stakes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what
yeah,
I'm saying. Yeah, we
yeah,
had so much. We had so much to look forward to that we
yeah,
were gonna do together. It's terrible. It's a bit.
yeah, man.
It
So
hurt.
you're right. Prayers for continued prayers for his family, for Anthony's soul, and yeah, man. It's just like it's still a weird feeling. I was thinking about him today. Father's Day. Obviously his son was
Yeah,
like so young, and it's just tough. But
absolutely.
I'm gonna check out that last video that Jim posted, and Jim did a really good tribute to him too. So
Yeah, that was good. I don't know how he held it together, man. It's just,
yeah, yeah,
just
that was great.
that professional ticker that's inside you, man, and because once he shut that thing off, he probably was done for.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure.
That's draining to do stuff like this.
Yeah, and him and Jim were really firing thing. I mean, they were they would have had a great show for years to come. And again, Jim was heavily on Sirius XM radio. I know Jim's going to be a lot on Sirius XM again. And I feel like that's the path for Anthony. Anthony was going to be on that path. He was going to be on Sirius XM like daily, I think, at some point.
And it would have been a good thing because they could use an upgrade all around. I think with some of their content. I
Oh yeah,
mean,
100%, man.
yeah, I think so. So
Yeah,
where are where we want to go over a couple of? Actually, go ahead, Steve. I didn't mean to
yeah. I
cut
was
you
going to
off.
say, last thing I'll say about the Anthony. Yeah, I just think he had that radio voice. So yeah, thanks, Joe, for reminding me to bring him up. And happy Father's Day to everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed this NFC Rotowire Online Championship. Hope to see you guys, doing more of these. If you do these, shout out in the comments. Joe and I will help you. With anything you want, we're here to help. And this is just, I feel like high stakes is kind of going to get more and more popular as we get deeper down the line, the years to come. Some late picks here, man, that I like. Mason Taylor, last round, solid. Noah Gray, solid pick as well. Yeah, Joe, go over your team, and I'll wrap up with my team.
I like Isaac Tesla too, or Tesla, however you want to pronounce it. My team, I started running back. I went with two running backs, Genty, Jonathan Taylor. Followed it up with four wide receivers, JSN, Sutton, Jamison Williams, Jordan Addison. Grabbed Bo Nix a little earlier than I wanted, but the way quarterbacks were falling in this one, there was no room to wait. Then I stacked them with Evan Ingram at tight end. I tacked on a couple of reliable low floor backup running backs, Najee Harris, Rashad White. Don't plan on. I hope to not have to put them in the lineup all that much. They're just there to fill in the bye weeks. Cedric Tillman.
I think you might be using Najee as a flex more than you think. Some weeks we'll see, but I think
Maybe.
I think he could be a solid flex. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, we'll see. We have to see how Hampton looks first before we decide to put him in the lineup. But Cedric Tillman, Cedric Tillman, my high upside sleeper. Grab Tucker Kraft. I think he's in for a solid season. Yeah, I mean, we know Evan Ingram misses time. Sometimes he's injury prone, so I had to make sure I grabbed a decent second tight end. Like Wandale, another floor play, bye-week filler. Dylan Sampson, that's an ambiguous backfield right now, so I don't mind having a piece. Demario Douglas, we talked about him already. Think he's going a little bit underrated. I'm hearing that he's looking pretty good. And again, Drake May's going to be looking for the guys that get open until he really takes a step forward. If he does take a step forward, Douglas is still the slot wide receiver. So I like his role in the offense with some added help. Stephon Diggs on the outside only gonna open things up for him a little bit more. And then we got Ollie Gordon. Again, A-Chain. Outside of A-Chain, we don't know what to make of the running back room. I mean, Madison's probably going to be used at the goal line. So, maybe Ollie Gordon can carve out a role as the season goes on, or if A-Chain misses time, I like his chances over Jalen Wright. Grab J.J. McCarthy just to stack him with Addison. I mean, at that once I was going to grab Caleb in round 12, but once Caleb was gone, I decided to push quarterback off all the way to the end and just grab McCarthy, to back up Bo Nix. We got Mostert as a handcuff for Genty, and then we grabbed the Cowboys defense and the Steelers kicker. All in all, I like it. I think it's pretty solid, well balanced. I got 4 not terrible wide receivers.
Not terrible. I think you got 4. The first 4 receivers you got, I think, are all studs.
I mixed in some high upside with some consistency. I tried not to go too much upside at the wide receiver room where it could lead to a couple of floor weeks. I tried to make it so that my wide receivers will contribute enough points, so that where my running backs have their consistent 20+ point weeks. Hopefully, they're the ones that I invested in to get the boom weeks. So I like my build overall. No, I can't complain. I know Fantasy Pros will probably give me like a C+.
Fantasy Pros. They gave me a terrible grade for my freaking Gladiator team. It was like D+, but I feel like they can't grade the Gladiator correctly. Like that
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's always interesting to see what the Fantasy Pros, and it links you to the expert you agree with the most sometimes. Yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, I think you did a good job, man. I really like your team. Again, I think my favorite pick, if I'm gonna give my Fantasy Pros analysis here, is 12th round Tucker Kraft. I feel like is a gem. I really love that pick, man. Even Ingram in an 8th is solid. And your receivers, you got basically 2 definite number ones. I guess there's a chance Sutton could fall, but even then, you have Ingram. J-Mo could take over St. Brown this year. I think there's a world where that could possibly happen. Now, I don't see it because, Goff likes to throw to the slot. He likes to lay up routes. J-Mo's going to be running down the field a little bit more, but J-Mo maybe just works in different areas now with Ben Johnson out. And then Addison's very, very solid number 2. Najee, again, I feel like compared to where Hampton's going, 7-round difference. I just feel like, obviously Hampton was bumped up a little bit more compared to where he's going, 5th round normally.
Right.
So fourth round normal, but still, Rachaad White, solid. Tillman, he could be the number 1 in Cleveland. There's a chance. It's possible. DeMario could even be the number 1 in New England, if Diggs doesn't show up on the field. So, yeah, man, I think you did a good job. I went started with, similar to Joe, 2 running backs, Gibbs and Bucky Irving. Then I get Josh Allen in the 3rd. Kittle, I feel like, 3rd best tight end. No more Debo. Ayuk on the mend. Maybe a little bit less of CMC. They want to take a little bit more pressure off him, which means maybe a little less blocking for Kittle, because that's kind of what hurt him in the past, is he was blocking so damn much. So he was so inconsistent. But Kittle could certainly have a career season. So, going after Bowers and McBride 2 rounds later, I kind of like it. And I feel like there's a little bit of a drop off at tight end. But, Ingram is solid. Laporta could have a rebound year. Hawkinson could, he's so talented. He could have a big year. Kelsey obviously has a chip on his shoulder. Then I go 3 receivers in a row. Judy, who I really liked what he did. I feel like he finally had his breakout year last year, which he did. And I think he can keep that momentum going despite the quarterback play. Chris Olave, last year he struggled with concussions. Again, they're dealing with either Spencer Rattler or Tyler Shuck, which isn't ideal. But I think Olave's solid enough, and I think Shuck will win that job. And I like what I've seen out of Shuck. I know Greg Cosell likes him a lot, and some other analysts like him as well. I feel like he kind of reminds me like a Flacco, like big arm, kind of accurate. NFL throws, runs a little bit, but I feel like he can make the throws to Olave. So even if he throws like 20, 25 touchdowns, maybe 20 touchdowns, like 30, 3,500 yards, 3,000, and like 18 picks, I feel like he can still make Olave relevant. Shakir to stack with Josh Allen. Again, it's going to be crowded. You got Kincaid, you got freaking Palmer, Elijah Moore, Keon Coleman. They throw to Ty Johnson, they throw to Cook. Josh Allen's running all over the place. They love to run the football. So I don't know how much you could expect out of Shakir, but maybe he gets a career season. Brian Robinson is some depth at running back. Then Andrews, who I could also use in the flex. I just love his value late, whether he's going 9th, 10th round. Rashid Shaheed was going off until he got hurt last year. And then Jack Beck. Again, that's a little bit of a crowded room, but I love this kid's talent. I feel like he could, if he gets if something happens to Myers or maybe, Bowers or something, I feel like Betch could really, or Beck, I don't know. I keep botching.
I think it's Beck.
Yeah. I love his talent. I think this kid's gonna have a really good NFL career. I just love the motor he plays. He looks like a backyard football player to me, and I just love when I see those kind of players in the NFL. Nick Chubb, we'll see if he renovates his, reinvigorates his career in the 12th. Jarquez Hunter, I love his talent behind Kyron. Kendre Miller, finally, Dennis Allen was keeping him in the basement all those years. Got to offset Kamara a little bit. Pat Fryermuth, I thought he was the best player on the board in the 15th round, or one of the best players on the board, rather. Josh Palmer to stack with Allen. I don't really have high hopes for Palmer, but, maybe he could do like what Matt Collins did, and maybe a little bit better, you would hope, and give me some decent weeks and some depth. Jordan Whittington, I need an injury there, obviously, to Adams or Kupp for him to be relevant. And then Alec Ayamanor, I really like Cam Ward. I think Cam Ward's going to have a solid rookie season, so I'm betting on him maybe to be the second receiver. Cardinals D against the Saints offense in week 1 as a streamer. And then, Packers kicker, who really cares, but tied to a pretty good offense. Shitty weather, though. I like to take warm weather kickers. All right, Joe, that was great, man. Any last thoughts before we get out of here?
Yeah, 2 thoughts on. I think Olave is a great price this year. If you can get him as a wide, you got him as a wide receiver too. But like, if most people getting him in that range are grabbing him as a 3 or 4. But I like the Andrews. I like the double tight ends because of the fact
our
that
receivers aren't strong.
You waited on wide receiver, so that's generally the only time I think it works. In NFFC. And I just want to point out one more pick that stands out a little bit to me, and that's, I think this might be the first time we've seen Derrick Henry in round 1.
Yeah.
And I don't hate it. I don't hate it because the same reason why I'm picking Genty is I like to start a lot of my drafts with the running back if I can. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's for some reason in this format, I feel like the hero running back is the best way to go. Not necessarily going to be the best way to go. At the end of the year, this is why they play the game. At the end of the year, the results could mean different. But I just to maximize your build, I think you need you got to have one really good running back in there. I happen to get 2. I happen to decide I'm going with 2, and we'll see how it works out because I did 1. I kept pushing running back off the last time I had Genty, which that draft is still going on, and I kind of wish I took at least one of them and had 2. So we'll see how what the difference is there between a hero Genty and a stack with another elite running back Genty. But that's it. That was really my last thought.
Anything else you see on the board that popped out to you at all? Or
I'm
Hampton a million times, but go ahead.
I'm happy that RJ Harvey is back in round 6. He was up in round 4, and I've seen him going around.
The Dobbins signing is scaring people off a little bit.
So I'm happy to see him back in round 6, and that's basically. I don't think there's anything else that's really sticking out to me here.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. I love your start, man. Genty and Taylor's great, and again, those receivers rock solid. Brommel says, I was mistaken on the San Francisco rookie receiver. It is Watkins to keep an eye on. Yeah, he was talking about James. James, the receiver. That's why he messed me up. Watkins. All right. I'll definitely check him out. I haven't looked into him. But I did like Cohen a lot last year, and I know he might earn more of an opportunity. I thought he was a pretty Cohen kind of reminded me like of a Kyle Williams. So we'll see. But they for some reason Shanahan likes to take his rookie receivers and throw them on special teams. It doesn't always work out. And then Brahmo says, good broadcast as always. Appreciate you joining me, man, or joining us rather. And I think we both have solid teams. This is going to be interesting now, Joe. We're in 2 leagues together. And we'll have to tally it up and see how we do throughout the year. But, we're certainly in these rooms with some sharp dudes. And, again, we're going to have to finish top 2 to cash here. The NFC is no easy task. But we'll be doing a lot more of these, guys. So make sure you are liking, subscribing to the show. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Fantasy Savvy. And you can follow Joe. Joe, shout out your handle real quick.
At Points by Hand Carlton. It's right there on the bottom of my square. There's no O. I had to take out the O because there wasn't enough keys. You can find my podcasts on the Sports Affiliation YouTube channel. This week, I'll plug my show real quick. This Wednesday, we have on Aces Up, we have Willie Miles and Billy Wasowski coming on. They both drafted together in the 11 spot tonight. We're going to learn a little bit about them, their friendship. Want to highlight the NFFC a little bit. We're going to talk about the platform. And then, of course, I put together some questions that, I'm going to try to get some information out of them as much as they'll let me. So it's going to be it's going to be a good show. I can't wait. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, you never know what any of these guys really want to reveal. I mean, I know, they don't even like their names being popped up at the top of these drafts. But I feel like it's so early on. Like I feel like their process is going to change, and so it's like and I feel like it's good to give the people that are still learning about this an idea of what their strategy is, especially if they respect you as a fantasy player. But yeah, Joe, man, awesome job with that show. The last one you had Kev and Frank on. That was great. And the one before that, you had that old veteran on. What was the guy's name again? He had
Dennis Michelson and Michael Reedy.
Mike Reedy, yeah. And now you're going to have freaking Billy and Will. I'll definitely be checking that as well. So, thanks for joining us, everybody. Fantasy Savvy on Twitter. Subscribe to the show. We'll be back soon for another draft, whether it's on my channel or Joe's channel. Take care, everybody. Have a happy rest of your Father's Day. We got 2 minutes left, or if you're on the West Coast, you got a few more hours. But have a great week. Take care.